Yeah, you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNI news video. And today is going to be my final San Diego Comic-Con recap video. I've been doing videos every day during the convention, kind of recapping the highlights that stuck out for me over the course of the week. Now today is Sunday. You can actually see I'm back home. I caught a red-eye flight out of San Diego late last night and got home today. I'm no longer filming these in the bathroom, as some of you realized where I was. And the reason why, because you guys asked, I was in a hotel room with other people, and so the only time I had to do those type of videos was very early in the morning before others in the hotel had woken up. And so that was the only place I could go where I could have light and actually speak normally and stuff. So that's why I was filming in that room over the last few days. But again, I'm back home now. Not much happens on Sunday. We did get one more reveal, which I'll share with you in just a little bit. Not really a new reveal, but a better look at a figure that was announced yesterday for the Marvel Legend line. But pretty much on Sunday, things are winding down. There's not a lot in the way of new reveals or news or anything like that. So that's why I flew out last night and am now back home to share with you my thoughts on everything that was revealed yesterday on Saturday. And of course, most of that is Marvel Legend related. Yesterday was the big panel for the Marvel Legend line from Hasbro. So that was the meat and potatoes of yesterday's reveals. However, there was one final reveal, non-Marvel Legend Hasbro reveal made yesterday, and that comes from Mattel. So I talked about these figures in earlier videos this week about their new Jurassic World, Jurassic Park 6-inch collector line. And they had been, there's 3 figures that they were revealing this week, and they'd been kind of spacing them out over each day. So yesterday was the final reveal. So the first 2 was the Chris Pratt character, which I talked about before. And again, I think that one looks incredible. I think it looks dead on to Chris Pratt's likeness. I think it's the best of the 3 figures. The second one is actually a dinosaur, not a human character. It's the blue dinosaur. So, they've done blue already, but I guess this one has a little bit more articulation and such. And then the third one, which was revealed yesterday, which is what I'm going to talk about now, share with you, is, and as I speculated, is the Malcolm character, the Jeff Goldblum one. So I don't think that one looks quite as good as the Chris Pratt one, in my personal opinion. The likeness, I mean, it's not bad, and this may not even be final. I know they were having some issues getting this figure out in the case because the arm, I guess, broke off. This is an early prototype, so they had to fix that. But so the final version may look a little bit different here, but overall, not too bad, and definitely kind of excited that they're doing, branching out with their Jurassic World line and doing like 6-inch collector figures and such, something we didn't see from Hasbro. So definitely like to see Mattel taking those kinds of steps. Okay, so now on to the Marvel Legends. So like I said, that was the majority of new reveals made yesterday thanks to their panel. They'd kind of sparsed out a few reveals during the course of the week, but Saturday is definitely where they put out the majority of their stuff. Now, I will say that overall, based on what we see in past years, maybe they didn't quite announce quite as much as they normally do, but the main reason for that is that they're going to be doing a lot more conventions this year than they had in the past. We started to see this trend last year where they were doing some more conventions. They did the Canadian Fan Expo last year, and I believe they did one in the UK last year. And of course, New York Comic Con, even though they don't really have an actual booth presence at New York, but they do always hold a special media event, which they will be doing this year, where they make a number of reveals of new stuff. But anyway, so 4 actual Marvel Legend reveals that they did yesterday announced. Now some of these they put out in their showroom afterwards, so we have images of both the slides that they did and then the actual figures that they put out in their booth. But not all the things they announced during their panel was actually put out in the booth, but I'm going to go over everything that they talked about. And I'm going to go in the order that they did during the panel, so we will be kind of jumping around a little bit. But to start off, they announced that they are doing a brand new Hercules figure. So if you've been wanting an updated Hercules, it's been some time since they did Hercules, and frankly, the previous one they did was not very good. This one looks a lot better. So I think even if you have that older one, you'll probably want to update with this new version. And this is going to be part, they said that their words was, it will be part of the Avengers line design one of the Avengers waves for 2019. They didn't go into a whole lot of specifics. They just kind of teased a few things for 2019, but again, really didn't go into a whole lot of specifics. And honestly, I'm not 100. I know they're doing Captain Marvel stuff next year, obviously for the movie, but a lot of times when you have these individual characters who are Avengers, you know, tied to the Avengers, they kind of just label that as their Avengers wave. So I don't know if there'll be actual Avengers wave and then also a Captain Marvel wave, or if it's going to be one and the same. I'm not entirely sure of that, but their words for the Hercules was it'll be part of Avengers wave in 2019. Next, they started talking about the second wave of Black Panther movie figures, and these they had already shown earlier in the week, and I've talked about, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on those, just other than to say that I continue to think that this wave looks incredible. The Baku Build-A-Figure, and Baku, I always get that guy's, Man-Ape is how I always refer to him as, but that figure looks incredible, and then my favorite in that wave is the Ulysses Claw, and I did get confirmation that Claw will come with 2 alternate arms. You can't take the gun and stick it in the arm and close it like you see in the movie. I wasn't 100% sure, but you will get 2 different arms, so you can get the more normal looking arm and then you can get the gun arm. And again, the likeness on that one just looks incredible. Hopefully the final version will look that good. Basically, Dwight said he did his job on the sculpting end, so now it's up to the factories to get the paint right and everything, and he really, you know, they kind of had to rush this one because originally they weren't planning on doing a second wave of Black Panther figures, but the movie did so well and the powers that be were like, you know, where's our second wave of Black Panther figures? So they kind of had to move it into fast gear and get this line done. But again, I think they've done an incredible job on that. After that, they then talked about several different sets that they're going to be releasing this year is GameStop and Entertainment Earth exclusives. They're joint exclusives between the two. And GameStop has really kind of, you know, been stepping up their toy game in the past year or so. We're seeing a lot of companies do GameStop exclusives now, and Hasbro is no different. It's kind of like the same thing we saw with Walgreens. I think both of these places are trying to fill that void left by Toys R Us. So, you know, definitely cool to see. Now with these, the first one they announced is part of the MCU anniversary line, and it's a new Age of Ultron figure, the Build-A-Figure. Now it's basically the same figure. I believe the head is modified from what we saw with the previous one, and then it's going to have better paint applications, which really shouldn't be too difficult because the paint applications on the original Ultron figure were not that good. But again, that's going to be a GameStop and Entertainment Earth exclusive, and I believe all of these are actually up for pre-order on their websites now, so you probably already checked them out. But if you haven't, I believe you can go on and pre-order this along with the other two I'm about to talk about. Now the second one is Archangel. They're redoing Archangel, and I believe this is the same Archangel figure that we previously got. However, they indicated that the wings are going to be more chrome-like. So we saw them do the chrome wings back during when they released the original Archangel with the San Diego Comic-Con X-Force box set years ago, and I believe they're going with that more kind of chrome look with these wings. And then the really cool thing about this figure is you're going to get 2 alternate heads that we have not gotten before. So the first one is where he's wearing his 4 Horsemen mask. So when Archangel first appeared in the comics back in the day, he was part of Apocalypse's 4 Horsemen. He was the one that turned Angel into Archangel, and he was wearing this mask. It's basically a gold mask, and it matched the other Horsemen. And so we're getting that head sculpt, and then the second head sculpt, alternate head sculpt we're getting is with the blonde hair. So there was a time where he grew out his hair returned, and instead of being bald, he had the blonde hair. So we're getting that look. And then the third head sculpt is just the normal bald head that we've seen before. And then the other cool thing about this set is that it's going to incorporate an additional piece for the new Apocalypse Build-A-Figure that's hitting in the new X-Men wave now. So we'd seen that alternate arm in the case over the course of the week, but I had speculated in the last video that I thought maybe they were going to do something similar as they did with the Thanos Build-A-Figure, where they reissue it with better paint applications and as a store exclusive like Walmart. I kind of thought that because Dwight had been talking talking about how he would have liked to done a different head sculpt with a different expression for Apocalypse on that Build-A-Figure. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if down the road they don't do that with the Apocalypse figure, you know, re-release it maybe with a new head sculpt or something. But as it is, what they were teasing here is they're essentially taking a page from Mattel's playbook and they're sticking an alternate piece for this Apocalypse figure in with the Archangel. So if you want that alternate hand, you will have to get Archangel. But again, even if you have the previous one, I think that the arm piece and the 2 additional heads actually makes it worth it. And then the final one that they announced as an exclusive for GameStop and Entertainment Earth is an AIM 2-pack. So similar to what they did with the Hydra Soldiers, they are releasing a new AIM 2-pack that's going to have alternate heads and accessories and stuff, so you can kind of army build these guys. So you're going to get the Beekeeper head and everything. So again, you know, very cool. You know, if you're into army building, these kind of guys like the Hydra and the AIM Soldiers. And again, this set will be offered through Entertainment Earth and GameStop. For Walgreens, they announced that Magic, they are redoing the Magic figure that we previously saw as the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So that's coming to Walgreens. I don't know why she has a Ghost Rider head. I'm not sure if that's just supposed to be a general reference to, you know, the dimension, the pocket dimension that she transforms in. I'm not entirely sure. She's also got a lock head that we saw with Kitty Pryde done with translucent plastic. Maybe it's supposed to be one of the demons. I don't know exactly, but those are the 2 accessories plus the sword. They teased the sword earlier in the week, and that sword they teased is going to be included with the Magic figure. Next up, Target is going to be getting an exclusive 2-pack featuring the Miles Morales Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen. So both of these are going to have masked and unmasked heads. Spider-Gwen is going to have some webline effects, and the Spider-Man figure is going to have an effect piece as well. And these are tying into that new animated movie, Into the Spider-Verse. And again, that is coming to Target. They also officially announced the Walmart exclusive Netflix Luke Cage 2-pack with the Clara figure, the Luke Cage with the yellow shirt. This is really old news. I've already reviewed this 2-pack. If you haven't checked that out, I'll put a link in the video description. But officially, they have now announced that as a Walmart exclusive. And then for the Toy Biz tribute line, the second wave, they had been revealing the figures. They had revealed the first 4. There's a total of 6 in the second wave, and the final 2 figures. Well, just to recap, the figures, the first 4 that they revealed was the Ant-Man, the Wasp, and the blue outfit, which is a tribute to that rare one that Toy Biz did. And then they're doing Black Panther and a Scarlet Spider with an unmasked head. And then the final 2 will be Hawkeye with the short sleeves, and then Vision with a new cape, an updated cape, which I actually think looks good. So even if you have the previous Vision, you might want to get this one to get the new cape. Next up, they announced some of the figures in the next Spider-Man themed wave, including the Build-A-Figure, which I think is the best that we're seeing in this wave. Definitely something I'm very excited about. But the figures they announced for is the new modern Symbiont Spider-Man figure, Red Goblin, Black Cat, and Silver Sable. And both Silver Sable and Black Cat are modern versions. And then the Build-A-Figure is going to be a brand new Kingpin. This is comic book based Kingpin, and I think this figure looks great. It's going to come with, they said it's going to come with 2 alternate heads, and we've only seen one so far, this kind of angry head sculpt, but he's going to have 2 more. And then of course he's going to come with his signature diamond tipped cane. And again, I think this figure looks great. You're seeing the in-booth images for the first time here. They were just put out this morning. They didn't put the Kingpin out last night, so this is actually kind of a new reveal here, even if you were catching all the news on the websites yesterday. But definitely, I think this Kingpin figure looks fantastic and can't wait to get my hands on it. For X-Men, so first of all, for X-Men, they kind of teased a new Storm, a 90s version of Storm, Jim Lee Storm, which they, I know a lot of you have been wanting. They kind of took a fan poll asking people if they wanted Storm to either have the white outfit, the silver outfit, or the black outfit. It seemed like based on the crowd response, I believe the silver one is the one that won out, which is probably the one I would like to see. They might do alternate versions. I don't know. We've kind of been seeing them doing variants with certain figures, so I can maybe see them doing that with Storm. But they didn't officially announce her, so they just kind of did it as a hypothetical, but definitely I feel pretty confident that Storm will be coming. Then they announced Skullbuster, part of the Reavers. They're doing him. I wish they had done Bone Crusher, and they kind of like teased that, but they're doing Skullbuster. They also teased Forge. They said you can't, you know, basically Skullbuster was killed by Forge, and so they made some indications that they're going to be doing probably an X-Factor version of Forge to go along with like Multiple Man and such. So again, they didn't officially announce Forge, but they made strong indications of him. And then they also announced a Professor Xavier. Now, at first, they kind of made it seem like it was going to be just a single-pack version of Professor X in the new X-Men wave. So there may have been some confusion coming out of the panel on that. But in fact, the Professor Xavier figure is going to be released just in the Writer series. There isn't two Xaviers they're doing. You know, like I said, they were kind of trying to throw us off the trail during the panel. And so that's why there might have been some confusion. But yes, they're doing Writer series version of Professor Xavier with his hover chair, which again is one that I'm very excited about. I think it looks incredible. You've got the little thing that you can put under it so it looks like it's floating, and it's going to have, Dwight told me it's going to have control panels that you can kind of open up on the chair. The model shown here was solid, but he indicated that you would be able to like open up those panels on the arms of the chair to see controls and such. And the figure is removable, of course. So if you want just Professor X without a chair, or you know, you can use the old wheelchair that came in the Toy Biz version, I'm sure. But definitely glad that we're finally getting a 6-inch scale hover chair for Professor Xavier. And again, I think this figure looks pretty good. They also indicated another character for the X-Men line, indicating that he was going to be very big and strong, which is probably an indication of strong guy. Probably will be the Build-A-Figure for this next X-Men wave. Again, not confirmed, but the way they teased it, that's what I'm thinking is that Strong Guy is going to be released as the Build-A-Figure for the next X-Men wave. They did not actually announce the Build-A-Figure for that one. They talked about the Deadpool figure with the scooter, which again I've already talked about. They revealed that the other day, so I talked about that yesterday in yesterday's video, so I'm not going to really go into detail. They did mention that that will have a new head sculpt, Deadpool head sculpt, and then of course we'll have the Squirrel Pool and the Dog Pool figures with it as well. And the red scooter, of course. Oh, and also they announced that they're doing Blink for the X-Men wave as well. I forgot about her. So Blink is coming in that X-Men wave, and she again looks really good, has her swords and everything. So if you're a fan of like the Exiles and such, that's one you're definitely going to want to check out. Then they showed some teases, just some random accessory type pieces as teases for upcoming figures. So the first slide they showed was Magneto's helmet. Now, we just got a Magneto, so maybe Magneto, maybe taking that black and red Magneto costume and giving us the traditional red costume. I don't know. And then Cap Shield, the recent modern, I don't think it's the Hydra Cap, you know, in the Hydra outfit, but that, I don't know, I forget the official title for that costume, but with the, you know, with the diamond-shaped shield and everything. So it looks like they're going to be doing that Captain America figure. I thought that was something that was coming last year, but looks like definitely that figure is coming, and maybe a 2-pack. You know, I speculated before that they might do a 2-pack with the regular Captain America outfit and then the Hydra version of that outfit. That would be kind of cool. And then this third item, I have no idea what this is. They teased it as a Green Lantern, which is actually what my first thought when I saw this. Again, I don't know what that is supposed to be. If you're familiar with what that is, please chime in the comment section and let me know, because again, I'm completely clueless as to what that is exactly teasing. Then they showed a second slide teasing Mystique's belt, skull belt. So it looks like we're going to be getting a new Mystique figure, and then a head sculpt, which I'm pretty sure is Quicksilver, comic book based Quicksilver. So it looks like Quicksilver is going to be getting the updated treatment as well, which I know many of you have been wanting. Again, that older Quicksilver figure that Hasbro did is not that good. Then they announced all the conventions that they're going to. So again, I already talked about this, but the Unboxing Toy Convention, which is in August, that's the one in Mexico. The Fan Expo, the Canadian Fan Expo, that's at the end of August, early September. New York Comic Con, which is in October. Then the MCM Convention, which I believe they were at last year, that's in late October. And then Comic Con Paris, that's a new convention that they have not been at before. That is also at the end of October at the exact same same time, so that'll be interesting. We've got two different conventions going on at the same time. And then the Luca comic and games convention, which I'm not entirely sure where that even is, but that'll be the following week at the end of October, early November. So all of those conventions, they will have some kind of reveals. Most of them will probably just be like one or two things, and then like New York Comic Con, definitely they should have a number of different reveals to make. They also teased a new Gambit figure, so don't know exactly when or where this figure is going to show up. I don't think it's going to be in the next wave of X-Men figures, but they are definitely doing Gambit, and it looks like he's wearing the same trench coat that the Multiple Man figure had. I love the head sculpt. Supposedly he's going to have stubble. They kind of, again, did one of their fan polls in the audience. Now, based on the figure that they had on hand here, it doesn't look like he has stubble, but they indicated that they were going to do it with stubble on his face. So that could, again, be a variant thing. I could see them doing one version with the stubble and one without, but we'll just have to wait and see. And then finally, two more reveals they made actually after the panel down in their booth. These weren't talked about in the panel, but they brought out that Sentinel that was originally going to be a Toys R Us exclusive. It is now going to be made available on Amazon. I don't have a price for you yet. They weren't quite sure what the price was. I might be able to get that information to you soon, but right now I don't know what the price is. And that's going to be, it is just a repaint of the Marvel Universe Sentinel that they did that has the electronics. So you push the button on his chest and his eyes light up and he says some phrases and stuff. It does have a little bit different paint deco on it, but essentially it is the same figure as what was previously released under the Marvel Universe banner. And then it's also going to come with a Days of Future Past Logan figure, which looks like it's just kind of a modified version of the Old Man Logan with a different head sculpt and a few other modifications. But you know, if you didn't, the Sentinel figure is a fantastic, I think it's a great figure that they did, but if you already had the previous one, I don't know how appealing this set is going to be unless you want an army build. But if you don't have that previous Marvel Universe one, if you know you thought it was Marvel Universe and you didn't want it or what have you, I definitely think it's a cool figure and worth checking out. And the box is really nice as well. You know, you've got some nice artwork on the front. You can open it up. The figure's displayed. You can turn it on the back. You've got some nice artwork on there as well. So definitely some cool packaging with that one. And then finally, they pulled out one more figure, and they weren't willing to say how or where this would be released. My guess is this is going to be part of the first Captain Marvel themed wave that they're doing next year, I'm sure, for the movie. This is a comic book based figure, and it's based on Genis Vell, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, the son of Marvel, and with the green Kree outfit and everything. And he's got I don't know how well you can tell from the pictures and stuff, but he's got like reflectiveness in that black portion that picks up in the light and everything. So I know I saw a lot of you making comments about how it's Martian the Manhunter, but that's actually how he looks in the comic when he had that outfit on. So you know, pretty cool. Again, it's comic book based, and even though Hasbro is not confirming, I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be one of the comic book based figures in the upcoming Captain Marvel line, which might be their Avengers themed line. I don't know if they're, you know, differentiating two different again, but definitely that's my theory, is this is going to be for the Captain Marvel line or wave, which will likely have movie figures in it as well. Probably split it up between 2 and 3 comic book based figures and then the rest being movie based figures. Okay, so that's it. A lot of exciting things revealed this week. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything that was announced this week, not just Marvel Legends, but everything. You know, leave your comment in the comment section below. Again, we've got a lot of exciting things coming that have yet to be announced. I'm hoping we're still going to get word on a Doctor Doom figure for Walgreens, a Fantastic Four Doctor Doom, maybe Super Skrull. I know that one's been highly rumored. With all these conventions, you know, like I said, they've just got to parse these reveals out, but definitely you can see with all the conventions they're doing, quite a few reveals probably to be made. And then the things that stuck out to me this week for Marvel Legends is the Charles Xavier with the hover chair. That one I'm very excited for. The Kingpin Build-A-Figure, I think that's probably the coolest one out of all the reveals made. And then also I thought the Gambit figure was really nice looking, and looking forward to picking that one up. So leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you were most excited about. If you're so inclined, please like the video and subscribe to the channel by hitting that button down below if you haven't already, you should also hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And of course, you can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I have links to all those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I will catch you later.